The first time I met her, I didn't even know she was alive. That's not poetic exaggeration. I mean it literally. I thought she was part of the ship's decorative architecture, one of the smooth, metallic statues that adorned the corridors of the Asterion, the deep space research vessel I'd been assigned to. It was my 3rd month in orbit around the planet Calira 7, a lush blue and emerald world that looked deceptively peaceful from space. Our mission was to study the strange bioluminescent ecosystem that covered the planet, and, allegedly, the ancient ruins that had been discovered there years before. The ruins were said to be alien, intelligent, deliberate, ancient. But the official reports never mentioned any living species connected to them. That's why, when the statue suddenly moved and opened her eyes, I dropped my tablet and nearly screamed. Her gaze was unlike anything I'd ever seen. Silver, but alive with shifting light beneath the surface, like liquid mercury caught in moonlight. Her skin was faintly blue-gray, patterned with fractal veins of silver that pulsed softly. And her voice. It wasn't through the air. It was in my head. "You are the new linguist." Froze. What? Who are you? You were assigned to decipher the Calaran inscriptions. I am their keeper. You may call me Where. Her lips didn't move. Every word resonated directly through my thoughts. I had to remind myself to breathe. The beginning, the joking start. Over the next several weeks, Elware became my constant shadow. I had been told the ruins' caretakers would be interactive AI projections. No one mentioned a telepathic alien woman who looked like a myth-given form. At first, I treated her as a mystery, a data source. But the more we worked together, the more I noticed something unsettling. She seemed to know what I was about to say before I said it. One afternoon, while we were analyzing one of the crystalline walls beneath the ruins, I caught myself thinking, she's beautiful. Her head turned instantly. Beauty is a perception, she said softly. But thank you. I nearly choked. You heard that. I hear much. Your thoughts are open. From then on, I tried to keep my mind as blank as possible around her, which was impossible. Her was mesmerizing in every way. Her voice, her presence, the faint hum that filled the air whenever she was near. Days turned into weeks, and soon she began to ask questions. Why do your kind hide what they think? Why do you lie with words when your mind speaks the truth? I laughed once and said, if humans didn't lie, half of us would be single forever. Single, she repeated. Meaning without bond. Yeah, without a partner. Someone to marry. And do you wish to marry? Shrugged. I'd probably joke about it before I ever meant it seriously. Oa tilted her head, her glowing eyes narrowing with curiosity. You joke about binding your souls. Humans are strange. Without thinking, I smiled and said, if I ever met someone like you, maybe I'd actually mean it. That was the moment she stared into my soul. The room dimmed. The crystals around us flickered as if reacting to her pulse. Her eyes locked onto mine, cold and endless, filled with stars. You would mean it. I swallowed hard. It was just a joke. Words shape fate among my kind, she whispered. If you speak the vow, the bond begins. I laughed nervously, but my heart was pounding. She didn't laugh. She only stepped closer until her shadow merged with mine. The middle, the bond awakens. I didn't understand what she meant until that night. I woke up in my quarters to the sound of static humming through the ship's speakers. My screen flickered, then showed a symbol, a spiral of light identical to the markings in the ruins. Then a voice hers. You spoke the vow, Jalen. The bond has begun. I sat up, sweating. Lyr. What did you do? I did not choose this. You did. The walls of my room pulsed faintly, glowing the same soft blue as her skin. When I blinked, I saw flashes of stars bending, of alien landscapes, of her standing beneath a shattered moon. And then, her memories. I gasped as I saw through her eyes. The fall of her civilization, the last of her people sealing themselves into crystalline chambers to preserve their minds, waiting millennia for someone to awaken them. "We were not gods," she said through the vision. "We were just afraid to die." When I snapped back, she was standing in front of me. Physically. In my cabin. "How are you?" "Your mind called me. The bond allows passage between planes. Now our fates are entwined. I didn't mean to. Intent matters less than truth. You thought of unity. You spoke of marriage. The Caloran bond is not symbolic. It is real." Her silver eyes shimmered as she added, "If you break it, both our minds will shatter." That was when I realized the gravity of my joke. For the next several days, I was trapped between panic and awe. The scientists aboard the ship noticed my odd behavior, the sleepless nights, the way the instruments flickered when I entered a room. But I couldn't tell anyone. Her was always there, sometimes silent, sometimes watching through my reflection. And slowly, I began to feel what she felt. Her loneliness, her guilt for the extinction of her people, her longing to connect. It wasn't just telepathy anymore. It was empathy, magnified to unbearable intensity. When she wept in her world, I felt tears on my own face. Then one day she appeared again, not as a projection but flesh and blood. "Jalen, the bond is stabilizing. You are adapting." Adapting. To what? To me. To us. When she touched my hand, I felt a surge of light travel through my veins. It didn't hurt, it woke me. My thoughts expanded outward like ripples through an ocean. I could hear the hum of the ship, the flicker of every energy conduit, even the quiet heartbeat of the sleeping crew. "You are seeing through my senses," she said. "You are becoming more than human." "I didn't ask for this," he yelled. She looked pained. "Neither did I. But perhaps it was meant to be." Climax, the choice. 2 nights later, an alarm tore through the ship. Calira 7's atmosphere had begun collapsing in unpredictable storms of magnetic radiation. The ancient core was destabilizing. Evacuation protocols engaged, but when I ran to the control deck, error appeared in the ship's interface. "The storm is not natural. My people built the planetary core as a power source. It is failing. Without reactivation, your ship, your crew, will perish. How do we stop it?" "Through me. Through us. The bond can stabilize the energy if we merge fully." Froze. "Merge. Your mind must join mine. Completely. But it will mean the end of your human self." I stared at the chaos outside, the planet tearing itself apart, the crew screaming orders over the comms. I looked back at Oer, her form flickering with static, fading. "Why me?" I asked softly. "Because you spoke truth, not in jest. You felt the bond even before you feared it. I have waited lifetimes for someone to mean what they said." She held out her hand. "Will you complete the vow?" My heart raced. I thought of my life, Earth, family, the home I'd left behind. But none of it felt real anymore. She did.